everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today's setup probably looks a little bit different than what you're used to for a yoga class, but we're actually taking yoga into our chairs today. Chair yoga is such a wonderful and powerful tool. Not many people realize that they can take yoga off the mat and bring it to a chair, whether it's your desk chair, whether you're on an airplane and you need to get a little bit of movement in during a long flight, or whether standing just isn't your thing and you feel more comfortable in a chair. This is a great alternative series of postures to do to some of our commonly known yoga poses. So our first series that we're going to do is going to start opening up your neck. If you're stuck in a chair all day, chances are your neck and your back are probably very tight. We tend to tense up when we're seated, especially when we're seated at our keyboards. So we tend to tense up a little bit and your shoulders come up a little bit more. And that's why you get a lot of muscle tightness and tension and maybe even some headaches in your neck during the day. So let's start with some neck circles. So start to slowly make circles with your neck. Now, very quickly, if you feel a little bit dizzy, if motion in your head makes you feel a little dizzy, you don't need to do full circles. You can move very slowly and just do these half circles. If motion is okay with you, you can build up to doing very big circles going all the way around the back of your head, and make sure you keep it nice and balanced. So if you do 3 on one side, we're going to do 3 on the other side as well. Or you can continue with half circles. And if you want to get a little bit of motion into the back of your neck, you could do half circles in the back as well. Now, while you're moving your neck, you might find that you're hearing nice loud cracking sounds and popping sounds, maybe even a little bit of grinding. That's okay. As long as it doesn't hurt, it's perfectly fine. That's just the tension that you're releasing from your neck. All the tension and stress is making its way out. It's kind of like you're giving a little bit of a massage to your neck. Okay, let's bring our head back to center. Let's move into some feet circles. So sit back just a little bit in your chair. Extend one foot straight out in front of you. You can extend your left foot and then just start to draw circles in the air with your feet. So this is a great way to get blood flowing through your body. So think of yourself in a seated position. Your ankles are below your heart for the whole day. So all of that blood flow is just accumulating right at your ankles. It's not going anywhere. This is a nice way to get motion into your ankles and get that blood flowing throughout the rest of your body. Let's bring that left foot back down. Now extend your right foot out and start to draw circles with your right foot. So this also brings a massage into your feet. This probably feels really good, especially if you've been seated all day and haven't really gotten a lot of movement in. This is a nice way to just kind of massage your ankles, get some energy into your ankles. Chair yoga also extends energy throughout the rest of your body. So if you're feeling sluggish and you've just been cranking away at your keyboard, or even if you're just in a seated position for any other reason all day, you might feel really tired. Chair yoga will really get some energy flowing through your body. Let's bring your right foot back down. Now move forward slightly in your chair. Bring your feet just about hip width apart. They should frame the legs of the chair. Bring the palms of your hands to your knees. We're going to go through a motion called Sufi Circles. I did this in one of my seated flows earlier this week. Now we're going to add this into a seated position. Very, very simple to do in a chair. So start to lean back slightly as you inhale, and then as you exhale, start to rotate your torso in a direction that's comfortable for you. Nice massage for your lower back, nice massage for all of your internal organs. Really feeling very good on your spine. You might even find, if you did my seated flow earlier, you might find that you can get a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more movement when you're in a chair and your feet are on the ground. You might find that there's a little bit more range of motion that's available in your spine. And that's fine. The chair is there to support you, and the chair is there to make things a little bit easier for you. When we're doing yoga in our chairs, we are giving ourselves a little bit of a break in the day. You can still work while you're doing some of these motions. You can still be on a phone call and doing these nice circles, or you can read emails as long as you don't get seasick while you're reading and moving. But you can still go through your day, even if you can't take a break, and do some of these motions. Now, when your body comes to the front, let's start to move in the opposite direction, remembering to continue with your breath, inhaling back and exhaling forward. So this also helps to massage your hips. When you're in a seated position for a long time during the day, your hips tend to tighten up as well. So this is just a good way to bring a little bit more energy, a little bit more motion, and a little bit of a massage to your hips. Feeling really good, feeling this nice stretch in your spine as you make your way around. And once again, only moving at a speed that feels comfortable for you. So if you pick up the speed, you're going to pick up heat and energy in your body. You're going to get a little bit warmer. You might start to break out into a little bit of a sweat. But if you move nice and slow, you're gonna keep that heart rate down. You're gonna keep your energy flowing at a nice even pace that's comfortable for you. Okay, let's come back to center. Let's bring your feet a little bit closer together. Inch just a little bit more forward on your chair. Always make sure that you're nice and safe in your chair. If you're doing this in a rolling chair and you have the opportunity to lock the wheels, I would suggest doing that. Also, if you don't have arms on your chair, it's a little bit easier to go through some of these motions, but still totally capable of doing all of these poses in whatever type of chair you're seated in. So our spine moves in 6 directions, and we're going to nourish our spine in all of those directions. We're going to start off with a seated variation of cat-cow pose. So take the palms of your hands, place them at your knees. Take a deep inhale, drop your shoulders back and down, get a little bit of an arch in your upper back, look up to the sky, and then as you exhale, roll your shoulders forward, look down towards your lap. Inhale, shoulders back and down, shift your chest forward in your chair, and exhale, curl your shoulders over, looking down towards your lap. Inhale, coming back up, shoulders back and down, coming into cow pose, and exhale, curling those shoulders over, coming down into cat pose. Inhale, we'll do this one more time, shoulders back and down, coming into cow. Exhale, shoulders coming over, coming down into cat. And inhale, let's come back up to center. Okay, we're gonna go into a move where we kind of move our spine back and forth from the right to the left. So you're gonna take your left hand and place your left hand on the side of your chair. Grasp it with the side of your chair. Right hand reaches up and over. Inhale, let's bring your right hand down, left hand comes up and over, reaching over to the other side of the room. Inhale, coming back up, reaching up and over. Exhale, back down. Inhale, coming back up, reaching up and over. Exhale, back down. Inhale, reaching that right arm up. Exhale, coming down. Last time, left arm goes up and over, and inhale, coming back. Okay, our spine also twists. So we're going to twist our spine very gently. Now, if you have lower back pain or if you're pregnant, don't go into a very full twist, just go slightly. Also, don't try to crack your back in this twist. That's not the intention. The intention is just to increase blood flow into your spine. Take your right hand, place your right hand on the outside of your left knee. Your left hand, depending on the type of chair you have, if you have an arm on your chair, you can grasp the back of the arm. You can grasp the side of the chair or even the top of the chair and come into a little bit of a twist. Exhale, now let's rotate in the opposite direction. Your left hand goes on the outside of your right knee. Your right hand goes anywhere along the right side of that chair that feels comfortable for you. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, off to the left-hand side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. We'll do this one more time in each direction. Inhale, coming back to center, exhaling to the left. And inhaling back to center, exhaling to the right. And inhale, come back to center. Okay, another movement that we'll do that's going to open up your forearms and is going to feel really good, especially if you're at a keyboard or a mouse all day, is called downward facing prayer pose. Now, I only want you to go as deeply in this pose as you feel comfortable. If you've had surgery on your forearms for carpal tunnel, I want you to really go very gently into this pose. Only rotate your fingers very slightly forward. So let's bring the palms of your hands together and your palms to heart center. Press your palms together so that you feel a little bit of tightness in your forearms, right up in here, and then start to rotate your fingertips toward me. Only going as far as you feel comfortable. Now, by doing this, you're increasing flexibility in your forearms, and you can work up to rotating those fingers all the way down to the ground. But don't force it at first. If you've never done this before, and right about here you start to feel tightness in your forearms, stop right there. And then let's inhale. Let's bring our fingertips back up to center. Let's do that one more time. Exhale, rotate your fingertips toward me, going only as deeply into this pose as you feel comfortable, continuing to breathe the entire time that you do this. Take a nice deep inhale. Let's rotate those fingers back up to your heart center. Let's keep those palms together. We're going to go into a movement that's really going to increase that blood flow to your heart. Take a deep inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, open your arms, swan dive down, bring your hands to your feet. Inhale, let's swing those arms up and open, reaching them all the way up to the sky. Exhale, open your arms, swan dive down, bringing your hands to your feet. Inhale, coming back up, reaching those arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, open your arms, swan dive down, bring your hands to your feet. We'll do this one more time. Deep inhale, reach those arms all the way up to the sky. Exhale, open your arms, swan dive down, hands to your feet, and then let yourself stay in this position. This is called ragdoll pose. Now take this pose as you feel comfortable. So you can bring your feet out a little bit further apart, just about hip width apart, and then you can let your head come down and rest in between your legs. Really let your neck relax. You're holding a lot of tension in your neck by being in a seated position all day. So by letting your head relax, you're releasing that muscle tightness and tension. If you have a migraine, this is a wonderful pose to do to release any feelings that you might have from that migraine. It might help it to go away a little bit quicker because a lot of migraines are from muscle tension back here. If you have a sinus infection or if you have a cold, it's probably a smart idea to have a box of tissues with you, but this is a wonderful pose to do during cold and flu season because it does help to open up your nasal passage and help you to breathe a little bit better. Okay, let's bring your feet just slightly closer together, just about an inch or two apart. Place your right hand flat on the ground next to your right foot. Take your left arm and reach your left arm straight up to the sky, getting a nice spinal twist. Exhale, let's lower your left hand down next to your left foot. Take your right arm, reach your right arm straight up to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes back down, left arm reaches straight up to the sky. Exhale, left arm comes down, right arm reaches straight up as you inhale. Exhale, let's bring that arm back down. We'll do this one more time. Nice deep inhale. Really reach that left arm straight up to the sky. Feel this nice gentle twist in your spine, increasing that blood flow to your spine. Exhale, left arm comes down. Inhale, right arm reaches straight up, continuing to breathe. Exhale, left hand comes down. Now very slowly, start to come up into a seated position. I say slowly because your head's been below your heart, so you don't want to get a head rush and feel very dizzy and faint. Okay, coming into a little bit further forward on your chair, place the palms of your hands to the back of the chair. So right where the chair meets the back support, place your hands right there. We're going to go into a movement called fish pose. I'm going to rotate my chair so that you can see this slightly. Sorry about that. Place your hands right at the base of your chair, bend your elbows slightly, drop your shoulders back and down, and just let your head look straight up to the sky. This is called seated fish pose. It's a wonderful pose to help open up your upper back. You might feel this a little bit in your lower back. Helps to stretch out your neck as well. Continuing to breathe, deep inhale and exhale. Let's rotate, bring yourself back up into a seated position. Stay where you are. I'm going to come back to face forward once again. And we're going to do a wonderful hip opener. Once again, as I mentioned earlier, by being in the seated position all day, your hips tend to get a little bit tight. You might also suffer from sciatica. So here's a wonderful pose to help you release any of that tension and tightness that you feel when you're seated. Take your right leg, lift your right leg up at the hip, and rotate it at the hip. So, paying attention to the way your footing is. Place the bony part above your ankle, above your knee. You might need to shift a little bit forward in this pose so that your left foot is flat on the mat. Always important to make sure that bony part above your ankle is on your knee and not your foot. If you see with my foot, it's kind of curling at the ankle and you can cause a little bit of an injury. By resting the bony part, you have that bone to support your knee and the rest of your leg so that you're not bending at a weird angle. If this is uncomfortable for you, if you have bad knees or just can't get into this position, you can also just cross at the ankles. Let your right leg fall off to the side so it's a little bit more open. You're still going to get some hip openers in here. You're still going to feel the stretch in your sciatic nerve. So coming back to this original position, place your right hand on your knee, your left hand on your ankle. If you are not fully in this position, it's going to look like this. Your left hand is going to be on your left knee, your right hand is going to be on your right knee. Now, no matter where you are, bring your shoulders back and down, take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, start to shift yourself forward, bringing your chest down towards your shin. So this is called Pigeon Pose. It's a seated variation of Pigeon Pose. You might already be able to feel this nice hip opener. Now you can stop here, and they're not different levels of this pose. It's all based on what your body needs and how this feels in your body. You can go a little bit deeper into this pose and hit some different body parts. You'll take your right hand. If you look down, there's a triangle that your right leg has formed on this angle. Just take your right hand and go straight through that triangle. Bring your left hand to the outside of your left leg and start to reach through. You can interlace your fingers right at your shins. You can also let your head fall down. This is going to pull on your lower back just a little bit more. You might feel a little bit more of a stretch. And you might feel this a little bit more in your hamstrings if you go a little bit deeper. I can feel this in my right hamstrings when my head goes down. So this is a nice stretch for the entire back part of your body. Or if you're just right here, you can continue to lean into this. You can also let your head drop down when you're in this variation. Stay in whatever position feels comfortable for you. If you are at this ankle cross position, just leaning forward slightly is still going to take that pressure off of your lower back, still going to open up your hips a little bit more. Now, no matter where you are, take a deep inhale coming back up into a seated position. Let's uncross your legs. Let's move our legs a little bit. Get a little bit of movement in them after sitting in a bound position like that. Let's do the same on the opposite side. Lift your left leg, rotate it at the hip. Once again, the bony part above your ankle goes above your knee. Your right hand goes on your ankle. Your left hand goes on the top of your knee. Shoulders back and down, deep inhale, and then exhale. Start to bend forward slightly, coming into a variation that feels right for you on this side. You also might need to make a little bit of foot adjustment to help support your foot. You might need to move your right foot to support your left foot on your leg. Whatever feels comfortable for you, taking the variation that feels right. What feels right on one side doesn't always feel great on the other side. Once again, your body holds experiences and stress differently, so what you do on one side might not be as nourishing as the opposite. Continuing to breathe, letting your head fall if it feels right, keeping your head up if that feels better, taking a nice deep inhale, and slowly coming up into a seated position. Let's uncross those legs, shake them out once more. We'll move on to our final pose. Now, a lot of us that are in a seated position all day feel a lot of pain in our lower back. And I do a variation on the floor that I've also brought into the chair, and it's called butterfly pose. So butterfly pose is like, I call it guppy pose, but it's a reclined butterfly pose. And what it does is it brings your arms, so let's all inhale, bring your arms straight up above your head, bend your elbows, and grasp the opposite elbow with the opposite hand, or forearm, wherever you can reach, and then just let your forearms rest on your head. You can sit up tall in this pose, or if it feels good, you can also sit a little bit further back in your chair. I always like to make sure my feet are flat on the mat, or flat on the ground whenever I do this. Now pay attention. So this is a really good pose to help improve your posture. And when I check emails, I like to sit here and read my emails like this, because it forces me to sit back from my screen rather than, now stay where you are, rather than doing this and leaning into my screen with my mouse and my keyboard. So paying attention to what our body feels like. Your lower back. This creates a little bit of a curve in your lower back, which takes off any pressure or tightness that you might be feeling there. Coming up a little bit further, your shoulders are back and down. So it's helping to correct the posture, helping to correct the curvature in your spine. And it's also a great way to help oxygen get into your lungs a little bit more easily. It creates a better natural alleyway for oxygen to get in there. And it's also relaxing to your mind. You can close your eyes for a moment and you can just pay attention to your breath in this pose. Very relaxing, very calming, very, very beneficial. Okay, if your eyes are closed, slowly open them. Let's bring your arms down by your sides. And this concludes our yoga practice for the day. Let's bring the palms of your hands together, fingertips to heart center, and let's bow to one another and say namaste. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I look forward to seeing you again soon.